Episode 120. Holy shit, I don't know the number. Yeah, 124. 124.
We do this
Doing
a
well,
lot,
folks.
folks.
Yeah. Doing real well. We've seen so many movies. Yeah, welcome in. We're doing The Woman King. We're talking about The Woman King this week for a movie from Viola Davis, Gina Prince-Bythewood, written by Dana Stevens and Maria Bello. We'll talk about that more in a second. But other than that, how we doing? Dex, you had a double feature today. What a double feature.
A double feature out here supporting all the women. Saw The Woman King at fucking 1:15 p.m. The Katie Mills Mall AMC. Saddest shit of my life. Katie Mills Mall on a Thursday afternoon. It's not the happiest place in the world. But
You
I was
text
in
that
there.
and I was like, you don't say. Like the Katie Mills Mall. It didn't get you a Wetzel's Pretzels or anything like that?
No, just the saddest collection of empty stores you've ever seen in your life. But yeah, so I did that, and then immediately afterwards, went and checked out Don't Worry, Darling. Got to support Florence Pugh, as you know, we are wont to do on this podcast. And they lied, bros. That shit is not that bad. Like it's not great.
Is it good?
I had a good time. I had a good time. All right.
He had a good time. That's all. That's both teams played hard. Everybody had fun.
Like a 33 on Rotten Tomatoes is insane for that movie. Like to me,
Rotten Tomatoes is a conglomerate or
an aggregator.
Yeah, aggregator. Yeah,
it has been pretty fun to shit on this movie. Not that I've seen it, but it's been. I understand the appeal of wanting to shit on this film. I totally get that. It seems fun.
I can understand like 33% of people being like, wasn't really that moved by it, whatever. But like only 33% of people being like, yeah, it was fine. That doesn't make sense to me. Because like that movie is perfectly fine.
Where do you stand on your Harry Styles agenda now that you've seen this film?
Oh, he's still ass. Like, don't get into it. He's still ass. And like they did everything they could for him. You know what I'm saying? He was Draymond Green on offense. They were trying to hide him as best they could. Like don't shoot any jump shots.
Parked him in the corner.
Yeah, pass the ball. Like do not do anything too long. But he still ass. But the rest of the movie was
Harry Styles taking backpack jumpers.
Yeah, for sure. A little Russell Westbrook action. The occasional like pull up long two. That was ill advised, but.
All right. Well, we're talking about a better movie, I assume, though. The Woman King.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. The Woman King came out just last week. It is the #1 movie in America right now as far as box office goes. So sorry to the haters and losers, of which there are many. We'll talk about that here in a second as well, as we tend to do with films starring women. Who would have thought that they get review bombed on IMDb? The Woman King came out last week, PG-13, which was I found actually surprising. I was going to mention that in my review. 2 hours 15 minutes long, has a 6.2 on IMDb, but a 76 Metascore and a 95% critic score and 99% audience score. So that really, to me, just says that IMDb is racist. So
IMDb is like worthless garbage, dude. IMDb is fucking IMDb ratings are fucking useless. All the other info on IMDb is great.
Pristine. The user base on IMDb, I don't know why it skews that way or how it does, but it's so weird.
Because it's not like they like market at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's not IMDb ads running on fucking shit for them to attract that audience, but they just go there for whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's their meeting spot. It's like it's Reddit for movies. They go to meet on IMDb and they bomb the shit out of movies that feature Black people and women, and it's their whole thing. It's where the 4chan bros and the Reddit bros go to review movies.
Oh, they're not gonna vet my comments? Fucking yes.
I can call shit trash before it even comes out. Done. Say less.
They set their alarm for the reviews to be actually open. They're like, couldn't wait.
It's nasty. It's very nasty.
The Woman King, a historical epic, and I was also going to mention parts of the reasons why this is getting they're review bombing this, but hiding how they're review bombing it. We'll talk about that here in a second too, once I explain the plot. A historical epic inspired by true events that took place in the kingdom of Dahomey, one of the most powerful states of Africa in the 18th and 19th centuries. Directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood, written both by Dana Stevens and Maria Bello, who, if you don't know who Maria Bello is, she's a former very popular actress. Was in stuff like Coyote Ugly, A History of Violence, longtime actress. So it was interesting to see her name pop up here on the screenplay. Dana Stevens, a longtime writer, wrote stuff for For the Love of the Game and City of Angels and some other notable movies like that. But so it was interesting for me to see Maria Bello on here. But the real star is Viola Davis. She was also, I believe, a producer on this movie. It took her a long time to get this movie off the ground and made, according to her. It also stars Duso Medu. Sorry, I'm Lashana Lynch and John Boyega as well. And John Boyega, I'll just say this off the top. John Boyega as a king, just
born for it.
Chef's kiss. It was incredible. It was
born for it.
It was so good. I wanted to see more of that character. But of course, Viola Davis is brilliant, as she always is in most of her movies. And I'll talk about my love for Lashana Lynch later on, maybe privately. But this movie has made $23 million worldwide. I can't find how much that it costs to make.
It looked expensive.
It did look expensive. Not a lot of CGI, a lot of practicality, a lot of practical sets and battles and things like that. So I'm sure it cost a good bit of money to make. So yeah, 95% tomato meter, 99% audience score. All hail. This is the one critics consensus. All hail Viola Davis. The Woman King rules. What a critics consensus. Woman King was dope.
That shit bang.
So yeah. So really, it has a if you follow this, has a A+ cinema score as well too from audiences.
So it's just IMDb. This ain't.
It's just IMDb. And
that's how it is.
I'm gonna get this out of the way now. There are several articles written about this, about the history of the slave trade within this tribe in Africa, how they were involved in capturing and selling slaves to slave traders. People have since found out that information and used it in their reviews. You can go on IMDb and look at some of these user reviews and use it in their reviews to go in a roundabout way, make a movie about women and people of color into a historical debate when the people that were doing that in the first place never cared about the histocracy of movies to begin with. Yeah. So
this is a mess.
They're disguising their hate for women and people of color in movies with the histocracy of the slave trade. And they're like, well, if you're going to make a movie, make it historically accurate, which just isn't the case for like a lot of
literally
movies.
Not a movie rule at all, by the way.
Yeah.
Not a thing that anyone ever asked to do.
So there have been plenty of articles written by a lot smarter people than I and the people on this podcast, no offense, about the history of that, including people with the New York Times and people with, like, I read an article from the Smithsonian, the museum, which was very good and talks about the histocracy of it. This movie isn't historically accurate. That being said, they don't really glance over the fact that this nation traded slaves at all in the movie, which is an argument that people were making going into the film. They talk about it
a lot,
pretty extensively in the movie.
Yeah, it's not hidden. It's you know exactly why what that tribe is up to and what she's trying to get them not to do anymore. It's not like it's a hidden thing that they are slavers or they're helping slavers.
Now it is washed over a little bit as far as like the actual history of it goes and how, like, if I understand correctly, how Great Britain actually had to get them to stop doing the slave trade.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it kind of lionizes them a little bit more than maybe the actual history shows, but that hasn't stopped movies from doing that, from Braveheart, so on and so forth down the line, like this in any sort of capacity. So to
I mean, even fucking
hide
Hamilton,
behind,
like PG-13 eyes is the slave trade. Like this is how it works.
Yeah, to hide your behind that review is gross and cowardice. So miss me with any of that. Just getting that out of the way. All that to say, let's review the movie. So Dex, you most recently saw it. What did you think coming in? It's still in the glow of double feature.
Yeah, I obviously this movie is way better than Don't Worry, Darling. I think I kind of had low expectations for this movie going in. Like I had heard, like they had a really high like critic score and all that, but still I was going into this movie. I'm like, it'll probably be like it'll be like a cool little movie. It's late September, like we're not really the Oscar contenders yet. Whatever. And then I'm watching it. I'm like, hey, this shit is badass. Like I didn't expect like Viola Davis is not a young woman at this point. I didn't expect like her to carry a dope ass action movie, but she was like cooking a little bit out there.
Jack too.
Yeah, Jack. And the rest of the story, like it's got some pieces of it that I don't love. Like the Malik, the mixed character that felt a little like Orlando Bloomish, like having, like all those.
That's such a good comparison.
There's so many, like I feel like there's a bunch of Orlando Bloom movies where he's like just a random like thrown in love interest, like love side story, and like it felt like this would be
the entirety of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah, like it just felt like an Orlando Bloom character, and I wasn't really with that. The whole like forbidden love, like Disney Pocahontas situation, wasn't really vibing with. But everything with Viola Davis was great. Everything with Lashana Lynch was great to me. I really liked, just kind of all of the female warriors. I forget what the tribe is called, the Akochi or the warrior group. I forget what they're called. Anyway. I loved kind of all their interactions and all their like
Agoji.
I loved all their like traditions and like kind of like in the Northmen they were like hyping each other up like before battle and shit, and I was like in the theater getting into it like, hey, like yeah, I'm about to go fuck them up, which I didn't expect from this movie. I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would, so I'm sitting at like a B+ for this movie. Super solid. I'd definitely watch it again. I don't think it'll be like it's not gonna be like a top 5 at the end of the year for me, but it was dope.
Yeah. I'll follow that up. You said you gave it a B+.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I gave it a B+ as well. I texted you. It's pretty down the middle. The term for these movies, sword and sandals epic that you've heard me say several times before. We don't get those movies very much anymore. So it's good to see. I mean, the last one that we technically got was the movie that didn't make any money, and I wrote a review of it. No, well, yeah, sorry, The Northman, and the one with Ben Affleck and
Last Duel or
Last Duel. Yeah, sorry, but yes, The Northman is that. But even The Northman was trying to say something more, even with its filmmaking than this movie was. That being said, this isn't like, I'm not saying this is not like well put together or anything. It just didn't take that many risks. It was pretty straight down the middle. There's battles. We're trying to free some people. We're trying to save our kingdom. And there was badass fight scenes. And sometimes that's all you need for a really, really well put together movie. I understand that they were trying to tell the story of some badass women, and I think they successfully did that. It's a badass movie made by badass women.
About badass women.
About badass women, yeah. And I really think I wish I could have a smarter take on this, but that's really all it came down to, is that is that we had decades of these movies like Braveheart, like Gladiator. Just this time we just replaced it with badass women and it worked perfectly. And it shows that you can make a movie like this. It can be financially successful. Now, is it going to make as much money as probably it would have, I don't know, 2 decades ago when the Gladiator came out? No. But that's just where we are in movies. And I think it being number one at the box office, I think it getting this rave reviews from people that have actually gone and seen it, just speaks to how well put together and telling the story is. And Tej, I'm just going to pretty much leave it there. My other thing is that I love Lashana Lynch and I want all the roles for her forever. She was, to me, the best part of this movie. Viola Davis was
so
great.
dope.
Viola Davis was great. The girl that played sort of her protege, Nawi, she was fantastic. I'd never seen her in anything before this, but she was great. She went toe to toe with Viola Davis several times, and I thought she was, for Viola Davis, who is queen at this point, always getting up for awards and stuff like that. But she went toe to toe with her. But I just think Lashana Lynch was fucking fantastic. I thought she was great, and I want to see her in so many more things.
Best supporting actress campaign for Lashana Lynch. Let's start it. Let's go.
Let's start it. I'm down. And she plays this sort of character that you've seen in a lot of these things before, sort of almost a comic relief. Almost she has this sense of purpose to her character, and spoiler alert, it doesn't end up well for her. That happens a lot in these movies, and it's always a good character every single time that it's played on screen, especially if somebody harnesses that and knows that their screen time is valuable. And
except in Dune. In Dune, that character did not work, or any character in Dune worked.
You know what? Well, yeah. I mean, Duncan Idaho was the most charismatic character in.
Well, that's true. Only because Chalamet was trash, but you're definitely right that he had the most charisma on screen.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say B+ for me, and I love these kind of straight down the middle. Where I would take points off of it. Sorry, I was going to get to you, Tej, but where I would take points off of it is a sort of sterilized version, I guess, of what this story could have been. Not saying that every movie needs to be rated R. More people were going to go see this movie. It was PG-13, and it was brutal at some points, but it is sort of really down the middle. Didn't go one way or the other, wasn't trying to teach you a bunch of things, or wasn't trying to take a lot of risks. So I take points off of that a little bit for it. And it wasn't as, I don't know, even grounded as I feel like it could have been, and really hit home with some of those action scenes and the brutality of what this could have been. But I really enjoyed it. Tej, you went the other way. You said it could have been more woke.
Yes, there's we have these conversations about these TV shows and all these adventure shows and all these movies, and there's this incel discourse that happens kind of below the scenes of these movies where people come shit on these movies for being too woke. So I'm going to triple down and go on the other side and say this movie wasn't woke enough. This movie is fucking awesome. I had a great time at the movie theater. I should mention now that I did not know this was a true story when I walked into this movie theater, and so I thought I was just watching a fictional story. And because I thought it was a fictional story, some of the story bits didn't make sense to me, as if you're writing this feminist journey, hyper-feminist movie where these women are beating the shit out of everyone and the best warriors in the town, and we barely even see them on the screen. If this is the movie that we're making, the relationship between her and the king made no sense to me whatsoever. And I thought if you're going to have the king actually be the one... First of all, the whole time I thought the king was the bad guy. The entire time I thought he was a bad guy, because there's this fight between them as like, when are we going to get out of the slave trade and try to make money in other ways? And it felt like every time that she would try to give him counsel, he would kind of be with it, but kind of not. And the whole time I thought he was a bit skeevy. She wants to go save one of her warriors that I won't spoil. And he's like, no, you're not going to go. Don't disobey your king. And so the power dynamic between the two of them didn't make sense for me as a person who sat down and wrote a movie that's fictional. I guess it makes a little bit more sense knowing that this is supposed to be truthful, or this is supposed to be like about real events. But, plot spoiler here, these people in real life did not ever stop selling slaves. That's the part that's not real. That's the part that's not real. They kind of humanized this tribe and made them go away from something that was really bad. And she's even getting her bars off about what slavery is doing to the continent of Africa, not just their tribe, but the whole of Africa. And there's a point where, the king is like, let's just sell other Africans. And she's like, no, like every African that you sell is hurting Africa, right? So that's the part that's not realistic. If we're changing things about whatever the dynamic was, if this movie is quite literally called The Woman King, I don't know why she was never equal to the king. Even at the big moment at the end where she becomes the Woman King, she sits down, her chair is sitting lower than his. Like, this is a movie. That stuff matters. Like, how you block people in your film matters. And if this is Viola's movie, it just was weird that when she finally got her big moment and she's been getting out the mud, she's old as hell out there fighting. John Boyega was just wearing expensive clothes and having
looking
multiple
great,
wives.
By the way. I don't care. Looking great.
I mean, he looked phenomenal. Why does he get to sit above her after we just saw her kill 90 people and we haven't seen him do much as lift a finger and mildly threaten a European man one time? Like, that part of the movie is just weird to me. But other than that, like the actual coming of age of seeing these elite warriors, and you see them in obviously automatically, because I think it's fictional, I'm thinking of the Black Panther warriors who are all women. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fucking awesome. But then it's not just like the ones that are badasses already. You get to see the coming.
Oh no!
All-Star game was like that's
backtrack. Tej, fix your internet. This is why we probably should have used the other one.
Am I freezing? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back
now. Yeah.
Your internet is crapping out.
I don't know what the hell just happened. Okay, that outside of this with her and the king, just like watching the kind of growth of these little warriors was just the coolest thing in the world. And Lashana Lynch was great, like you said. Viola Davis was great, like y'all said. To me, the best performance of the movie is easily Tuso, who plays the little girl who plays Nawi. I just could not believe her performance. Like, every time she was on screen, she blew me away. The stuff she's doing with her face. And like Royden said, she's acting across from Viola Davis in scenes where it's only her and Viola Davis in the scene. Like, you either step up to the plate or you get left behind. And Viola Davis is doing what she always does. She's one of the best actresses in Hollywood. She can do this in her sleep. And this little girl who I'd never seen before is just going like bar for bar with her. I was really impressed with her. Apparently she's going to be in Black Panther 2. I don't know who she's playing. I don't care. I want to see more of this little girl on screen because she was working out. She got MVP of the All-Star game. She was LeBron fucking James. The person I was with was like, wait, why did she jump off that tower? I said, because she's in it for the love of the game, bro. Like,
she like that. That's
the glory.
We should
really built like that, bro. She's really built like that. They couldn't stop her. She was phenomenal. I loved her.
We should say that this woman is 31 years old.
Wait, really?
Which is crazy because she plays a 19-year-old and she looks like she's 14.
Yeah, she looks 19. Yes.
Yeah, July 8th, 1991, according to IMDb.
Obviously, she has a love interest kind of storyline with the mixed race guy the whole mixed race guy mulatto storyline literally did not have to be in this film at all. No. This woman looks so young. My date was cringing every time they were having a moment where you think they might kiss because the girl looked like she was 14. And I was like, she's 19 years old. Like, they're probably going to kiss. It's fine. But they didn't end up kissing, which is probably the right decision. But she looks so young that my date was like, I don't want to see her kiss this man. Like, I don't want to see it happen. But
she's
to know she's 31 is crazy. She is really her. I could not believe her performance. I was just blown away by it. Lashana Lynch was the coolest person to ever be on the movie set. This is a great time at the theater, and the fight scenes are great. It's really violent, but obviously they're doing a lot of cutting away because it's PG-13. But it still managed to be really violent. I was just really impressed by the way they shot some of those fight scenes. And
oh no, God, I'm gonna have to cut some of this out.
This is with the king. I probably would have been upwards of an A, but I literally thought the king was a bad guy, and then the movie was over, and I was like, it can't be. We still haven't resolved the thing with her, the king, but the movie was indeed over. So I gave it a plus. I had a good time.
So we all gave it a B plus. I'll say another thing why I did take off points, and you were sort of mentioning it around it. This movie ended 15 times.
Yeah.
15 times. I sat there going like, surely that's it. And it doesn't feel like it's overly long. I'm not saying
it doesn't.
It doesn't feel like it wastes any time, but it does feel like it was like, all right, now she's the woman. Now they rescued the Nawi, you know, spoiler alert for the rest of this movie, but now they rescued Nawi. Now they come back. Now she's the woman king. Now that they reconcile, now she reconciles that, spoiler alert, again for the rest of the movie, that their daughter and mother and daughter. Is that a nope? Now we got to have a dance scene at the very end. It ends, I think, 4 or 5 times.
I have another issue with this film. This film is called The Woman King. So the big moment of this movie is when she becomes the Woman King.
A dude in my theater literally applauded, by the way. Like as John Boyega said, she's the woman king or whatever.
Who was her?
Started clapping.
Who was her competition? The wife had no chance in hell of ever assuming that position because she was awful from the beginning, and all she does is have sex with the king. That's all we know about her.
My good sis looked great, though.
She looked phenomenal. But, the moment was kind of ruined for me because it was either going to be her or the wife. And we knew it wasn't going to be the wife from the second we met the wife. There was no other ending of this movie other than her becoming the woman king. And the whole storyline of the wife trying to play the back channels was just weird because I was like, no, that woman, you don't offer anything to the whole tribe. You offer something to the king, but you don't offer anything to the whole tribe. Nothing at all.
Well, yeah, and that's why I said it's a pretty sterilized version of this story where it's kind of paint by numbers at points, but at certain points that formula still works, which is weird that they don't do it very much anymore. And maybe there's a cost benefit analysis to these movies that they've come up with, but it is interesting that it is so paint by numbers, but still somehow pulls it off.
Yeah, I mean, tropes become tropes because they work.
Right.
It is what it is.
So, Lashana Lynch has now been in several properties, including Captain Marvel, James Bond, and she's going to be in the new Matilda movie, actually.
Man, she's getting money out here.
But I will say that, she has been in a few things recently, and all of a sudden she's just been in the biggest properties on the planet. I can't get enough of it. She was the best thing about that James Bond movie to me personally. And probably the most charismatic thing in Captain Marvel. She was also, by the way, she played another version of Captain Marvel and got owned.
Doctor Strange too.
And Doctor Strange.
And got owned.
So that stinks. But yeah, her being the best thing in several franchise movies now at this point is really cool, especially after
I will not allow you to erase Ana de Armas' character in No Time to
Die.
Die.
That's fair. That's fair. That is fair.
But Lashana Lynch was up there though.
Well, it's safe to say the women were the best thing about a James Bond movie, which is
facts.
Something you can't say about previous James Bond movies because they actually made the women 2 or 3 dimensional characters in this one, surprisingly. So good for them. But I don't know anything else really to say about the Woman King as far as the fight scenes go or anything like that. I think starting with a battle is always a good way to start a movie.
Yeah,
I heard somebody say on a different podcast or maybe Reddit, I can't remember at this point. I consume so much media now; it's unbelievable. But it was basically starting something with a battle to let you know where you stand in this movie already is a great way to start a movie. It's all right, this is what we're about. The problem I did have with that, though, is that they didn't have another sort of fight scene for maybe 35 minutes of the movie. Yeah.
They didn't need one. The training stuff was the best part of this movie. I love being when they got.
You
the
love
training,
a training montage.
I'm such a sucker for it, bro.
They're so
I'm such a sucker for it. Once I realized that's where the movie was going, when the dad drops her off and we get to like literally she walks into the palace for the first time at the same time we walked to the palace the first time. And it's just like I was already sold. I was like, oh, I get to see this little girl become of age. She's gonna become a badass. I'm in. She already beaten the ass of this dude they tried to sell her to. This dude's a piece of shit. Let's get him out of here. Let's now get her in there with these girls and let's have her be the fiercest and just be limitless. She literally won the All-Star game with one hand tied behind her back. Like she went back to go help other people that were struggling and still won that, like still got MVP. Like she's really her. Watching her become her was the best part of the movie for me. I loved it. I love a training montage.
I love the training montage. I will say though, Roy, like it was a little while. I was like, like when are we gonna like do a battle?
When are we gonna have an enemy?
Yeah, we've been in here doing preseason for a little while now. Like when do we get back?
But they even melded the two back together really well because the next time you see them get into a real fight scene, the person they are attacking the compound. So like now she's got to act on her feet in a situation where it looks like the Woman King is in danger. Actually, the Woman King wasn't in danger, but it looks like she's about to save the Woman King. Like on her first day in her first regular season game, she's about to run for 250 yards. And then it's like to have that setup where, now she's in real combat. Now we can see her really get to do so. I like the transition that they did.
Saying Nawi out of Adrian Peterson out here.
Yeah, bro. In her rookie year, she went crazy. She had some off the field issues, but she went crazy on the field, and I respect that.
And I'm not gonna lie, bro. When Viola Davis was like, that gunpowder shit was smart. We gonna blow these motherfuckers up. I was all in. I was like, this is the dopest, like the dopest low tech shit I've ever seen. Like this is incredible. Like termite mounds.
Yeah, it was so stupid. You know, those people had to be shook. They're like, why is it exploding?
The ground is fire now. What?
How did this happen? When did they put these here? That major battle between the two, and it comes like halfway between them. There's three battles. The first one, and then the second one comes about halfway through the movie, and then of course they have a big boss battle at the end of the movie, which I felt could have been better. It almost is like they peaked definitely with the second battle. It was so good. That sword swinging thing that she did. What was that from? We saw that in a different movie where she had tied the knife to a rope. I've seen that in a movie just recently.
I don't know. To be honest, I feel like that's a pretty common thing.
I feel like it was John Wick. It might have been a Marvel movie. I can't even remember. But it feels like that exact same sequence was from a different movie. Anyway, it's still cool. It was cool then. It's still cool now. But yeah, and so I also liked and they set this up pretty simply. I don't even know if it's juxtaposition, but the comparison between the three older women and the three younger women that become friends is actually like really cool. And it was really interesting, and TG keep pointing this out, that it really wasn't, and it's an interesting thing. It's a Viola Davis star vehicle, obviously, but she doesn't have like a ton of lines or anything. She has a bunch of like moments, like monologues and big rah-rah speeches, but the movie doesn't focus on her, which is a really interesting thing to do if you're the star of the movie. You know what I mean?
They did a really good job of sharing the ball, because I thought it was going to be a lot of Viola, and it was a lot of her, obviously, but like they absolutely made some room for everybody else to get some shine, and I thought the movie really benefited from it for sure, because you never felt like you were with one character for too long. Right when it was time to be with another character, you were with another character, and I agree that Lashana Lynch was just like, she popped off the screen, but she always does to me, but like
and like that bone was popping out of her arm.
Yeah, that shit was nasty.
Oh,
and then she was just like, just push it back in. Like, just push it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, thank you.
TJ, I don't know if you heard me. I said that bone was popping out, or she was popping off the screen like the bone was popping out of her arm.
That was gnarly, man. Ugh.
Yeah, that was one of the more gnarly things in the thing, all in the movie, but also really Madden awareness level 0 for Lashana Lynch with the dude with the gun. R.I.P. and P to my dog, but you got to keep running.
All
Keep
right,
running.
since we're here right now, I'm not
Keep
gonna lie
running.
to you, bro. I wanted to laugh a little bit when Nomi like just bent down and was like, slobber crying like over Lashana Lynch. I was
It
like,
went on
bro,
for like 5 beats.
Why did you want to laugh? I was crying.
It went on for so long, and because it's like, bro, these white men still.
Oh, now we're losing Dex.
What the hell is going on with our streams today?
This is why we should have used the other program. This is why they did it.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with this program? I've never had this many issues when I'm in boring Zoom meetings. Anyway, yeah, I thought that scene really worked for me. Like I was never taken out of the moment, even though it was long. I was tearing up when she was over her body. I was tearing up. I was very sad they chose to kill that character. I was very surprised by that because she was awesome. But Royden is right that character kind of always dies.
Yeah,
but
I saw it coming from a mile away. I was like, oh, she has the most charisma. So she's gonna die.
Hype man or woman always dies.
They always die.
Horror movies.
But I just loved the time we got with her. She's just so phenomenal. And to have our little LeBron James in his rookie year put the team on her back and help her out of a situation, or seemingly help her out of a situation, was just such a dope turn. I just that stuff just all the stuff with Nawi and Lashana Lynch's character just worked. It was all every time they were on screen together. I was obsessed with it. So that stuff really worked for me.
I'm gonna start sharpening my fingernails like that too. Anybody tries to mess with me,
they need to get Lashana Lynch in Black Panther 2, and they already got Nawi in Black Panther 2 allegedly. And whoever Nawi's going to play, yes, she's going to be the best character. And whatever role she's in Black Panther, she's about to cook. We need to get her to replace the sister as the new sister, and she can take over, bro. She's incredible.
It doesn't say on IMDb that she's in that. But there are several crossovers between Black Panther and this cast as well too, or several people that are going to be appearing in that as well.
I need her to be one of them. If y'all haven't hired her yet, Marvel, go hire her now, and she can be in Black Panther 3. I'm fine with that. Let's do it. I'm buying that woman. I'm buying all that little girl stock. Well, she's not a little girl. I guess she's 31.
About as old as you.
Her stock. Yeah, I'm buying all her stock. She's incredible.
Yeah. Anything else that we really want to? Gina,
we got to get the Brazilians out of here real quick.
Oh, okay. Let's start. Were they Brazilian? I had never. I guess I'd never really heard Portuguese spoken that much.
It's ugly. It's the ugliest language in America, in the world. I
don't want to be I don't want any of this smoke.
I'm sorry to my Brazilian friends and family, but the language is the most harsh language. It's right there with German. Is languages that do not sound good when you hear it in like.
I just never. God, dude, German sounds so fucking bad. I hate it so much. A lot of my coworkers are German, and like.
I hate it so much.
And like when they speak in English, it like just sounds so mean. Like they just sound
everything
like
sounds mean.
All of them.
Can't you have a good day? What are you eating for lunch? Did you file those reports? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
It's very reductive of Germans. But,
yeah, they're Brazilian. Like obviously like the descendants of the Portuguese settlers or colonizers in Brazil.
I thought they were just straight up from Portugal, but yeah, I guess in the movie they're from Brazil.
Yeah, because like the mixed guy, like his dad took a slave from Africa to Brazil, and
that whole storyline
made him
comes over there. He comes over there for the frat party with his little European dude bro. And all of a sudden now he's freeing the slaves, and the slaves are beating your dude bro to
drown him to death.
I didn't need any of that whole storyline at all in this film whatsoever.
You could have taken it out. It would have been 30 minutes shorter. The film would have been.
And we could have had her just be in love with somebody from the village. If we wanted to really make her in love, just make her in love with someone from the village. Like, we don't actually have to bring this character into the movie at all.
Yeah, we did not need Orlando Bloom. Like, no, thank you. I was not fucking with that shit. And then it just kind of Ains, like she just.
Now we lost Royden.
All right, I'm back.
We lost Royden and Dex at the same time.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back, but Dex is gone. But
God,
y'all both got kicked at the same time.
Do some editing on this, man. All right. So okay, Dex, you're back. I'm gonna have to do some editing on this. Sorry to the people watching this on the stream, but yeah. So 22 minutes and 39 minutes. All right, but finish your thought.
Yeah, I was talking about Orlando Bloom. We didn't need him. I didn't fuck with. It's not Orlando Bloom for those of you who haven't seen the movie, but I don't know what the actual guy's name is. We didn't need him. I didn't like the story. I didn't like how it ended. It all just felt so unnecessary, especially when she just kind of like head nodded at him and went away at the end of the movie.
Yeah, like, hey, thanks for the lay. Like, I appreciate it.
Respect. Like, what? Like, no, thank you. We didn't need this whole shit, but whatever.
Yeah,
it felt like I keep saying Orlando Bloom. It also felt like an Amanda Stanberg character, like on the female side.
Jesus.
Like this would definitely.
I can see that.
Like,
I can see that.
Like I feel like Amanda Stanberg is in like a Holocaust movie or something. Is like a biracial, like in love or whatever. Like this is definitely her kind of vibe.
Do we care to talk any more about the histocracy of this, or do y'all care? I mean, we talked about it at the beginning. Like, Tej, you were touching on it a little bit. That doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter. Like, all movies are basically historically inaccurate. Is that worth taking points off for this movie, or even having a conversation about?
No, I think about it in two ways. It does not take away from the effective how much you enjoy just the movie experience of sitting down and watching the movie. My question would probably be, why do you make a movie about these people? That you don't actually have to go find some bad people and make them into a good heroic story. You could literally just
make this movie.
Just make this movie about different people, or just fictionalize it. Don't make it about real people. Just take the concepts from real life, like every other movie that has ever been made. That's a work of fiction. Just take bits and pieces that really happen and change it. Don't use the same name so that then you don't have to deal with the history part. I don't understand that decision. There's enough there to just make this movie, and if you don't make them a real tribe, nobody can come back and throw the real tribe's history into your face. So I found it to be a weird decision up front.
That's fair. That's fair. I do think it's an interesting sort of bit about this movie, but yeah, I do agree that there you can have arguments on both sides, but I will say that, like, again, rating this movie bad because of that is weird. Because
they did a great job with just
it's a movie
of how they made the film. Yeah, and you're gonna have fun. I understand why it's number one at the box office. It is a fun time at the movie theater. It's a good use of your time.
Well, I'm interested to see how well it plays out, or if it continues that success a little bit, considering we do now have a lot more coming out at this point. The stacking of movies by movie studios has just gone rogue. It's awful. Like, they could have played this a couple of weeks ago and would have made so much more money. I mean,
they were scared of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, they were ducking that Barbarian smoke. Let's not lie, bro.
It doesn't, like, even the Barbarian came a week after that. But, like, I'm just saying, like, there was that whole 3 weeks in August where we didn't have shit.
Yeah, this would have been a banger to have at that time.
I don't know, man. So yeah, again, we talk about the scheduling of movies all the time and how batshit insane that is. Let's talk.
Go see Nope 4 times in August, like I did. That's mild.
Hey, man, I think Top Gun Maverick's still playing. I swear to God, I think it's still at my Cinemark right now.
They were still giving out posters today at Top Gun Maverick when I went to the movie theater, and I grabbed one.
That shit saved movie theaters. That's crazy that Tom Cruise literally saved movie theaters in one film.
And the Navy.
Brother, the Navy wasn't going anywhere. They're still going to go 18-year-olds to sign their life away.
I for real thought the people were joking about like Navy recruiters being at like Top Gun showings, and then I show up to Top Gun Maverick and like the fucking Navy recruiter just posted up outside the movie theater. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
There is still 4 showtimes today at I'm only looking at one at the Cinemark.
That's
the
insane.
Theater. There's still 4 showtimes of Top Gun Maverick.
you, Tom Cruise. Thank you so much.
Put the industry on his back.
What a fucking legend.
Which is just as many showtimes as Beast.
Can
fuck that movie, bro.
I can't wait to hear what y'all are watching because there's some good fantasy stuff out that I'm just not on yet, but they are out there in the ether, and I want to know. Hopefully, y'all are watching them, so I can tell me if I should be watching them.
Real quick before we get on that, we obviously we have a long way to go, but how would y'all feel about like an Oscar campaign for this movie? Like Viola Davis, y'all think she got the juice or what?
I don't. I'm not going to doubt Viola Davis, and I'm not going to doubt the clout that she's gained in Hollywood as definitely like as an awards darling over the past few years. Did she win for Fences straight up?
I don't think so. I think Denzel won for Fences, but not her.
No, I think that's opposite. I think Denzel kind of got shut out for that. Let's see. So Viola Davis.
I can't remember.
Viola Davis has one Oscar. It was for Fences. She was also nominated last year for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. She's nominated for The Help and Doubt as well too. So she's been nominated 4 times, won 1.
I don't think she'll get nominated for this.
I don't think this will. I really don't know if this will get any awards. I think it any other time. I think it's just like a summer blockbuster, and it doesn't. Coming out at the end of or the middle of September kind of maybe gives it a little bit more weight. But I just don't think that
me neither.
As straight down the middle as it is, I don't think it's going to get any sort of push from that Oscars. Now, maybe the messaging is there and they want to push that, but I don't.
They still don't care about action movies, so you still got that hurdle to clear too. So I'm not.
I mean, I get that, but it's like they gave a nomination to Black Panther, to me, Black Panther is not as good as this movie.
You gotta think about the historical significance going into that as well too.
Yeah, and you got the Disney machine behind it. I think the Black Panther run is actually harming this film. Like they're not gonna do that shit again for this movie that didn't blow out the box office.
Yeah, Black Panther made $1 billion. Like that, it was a different sort of thing.
I haven't really. I don't know which one I think is better. Now that Dex said that, I think I enjoyed them both immensely. But I probably would have. I'm sure I liked Black Panther more than a B+ when I first saw it. So I probably gotta go with Black Panther.
No comment. No, I think.
But yeah, like that 95 on Rotten Tomatoes is crazy to me.
Yeah, that is crazy. It's the best.
So I'm like. That puts you in Oscar contention when you got a 95 and Viola Davis and all this dope ass blackness that I'm sure people are going to want to reward and align themselves with, and not really loving things I'm hearing about some of like the Netflix Oscar contenders and some of the other stuff. Like there's no.
A lot of stuff is
I don't know. It's wide open.
Wash. A lot of stuff is going to come out in the wash because not everything is at these film circuits or these film festivals has gotten like rave reviews. It's basically like Tar and The Fabelmans is the only thing that are kind of coming out as sort of front runners for everything. But yeah, you're right as far as like some of the Netflix releases and things like that. I don't know. I think that. If you could push, there's a world for supporting actress, I believe, better in this movie than for Viola Davis, maybe. And she does her thing, and she kills it as always. But I don't think it's her most, challenging role even that she's taken on. Now she was kicking ass and taking names. I've never seen her do that before, but yeah, I don't think it was. It's not Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or it's not Fences or anything like that. So I don't know.
If you want to start the Tuso Mabedu supporting actress campaign,
yeah, I think that's probably more likely, and maybe some. I don't know. The movie looked good. I don't know if it'll get any sort of below the line awards though either. So, wait, is Dex frozen too? Dang, we are all going in and out at one point or another.
This program is some ass.
It is. Yeah, no wonder they wanted us to record on separate things. Anyway, Dex dropped, but Tej, let's talk about what we're watching. You go first. Obviously, you're watching Game of Thrones, which I haven't watched. Sorry.
Oh my god, I cannot believe it.
I missed it.
I'm all the way in my Game of Thrones bag. I'm listening to the Game of Thrones podcast again. I'm all the way back in on Game of Thrones. Industry just finished their second season, and I'm finishing up the second season of Industry. I haven't started Rings of Power or Andor yet. Those are on my list of things to watch, but it's about to be big movie season, so I don't want to load up my plate too much with TV shows. But The White Lotus is coming back next month, and I'm very excited for The White Lotus season 2.
I need to get on that. I haven't watched season 1.
HBO has you in a 360 deal, Tej.
I love HBO, but The White Lotus is fantastic cinema, brothers. That shit is great. I really enjoyed it. I still got to finish. What's that called? Blackbird. I'm in the middle of Blackbird. That's all I'm watching right now, I believe.
I hate that they drop all of these awesome TV shows now, especially during like what's going to be a run of a ton of fucking movies that come out all of a sudden. It's so much content.
Yeah,
I can't do it, man.
I tell people all the time, like I just don't watch TV. Like people ask me, like, are there any TV shows I should check out? And I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't have time.
The fact that I haven't even started Rings of Power is just because there's so much good TV that I'm watching this. Like I don't have time for it right now, but I'm gonna definitely be into Rings of Power. I love Lord of the Rings, so
I'm
gonna check it out too. Just haven't gotten to it. Yeah, I've been watching House of the Dragon Sunday nights. And that's my TV for the week, every week.
I missed this week of House of the Dragon. I knew it was going to happen as soon as football started. That was their mistake. They needed to do that. They needed to drop that shit during the middle of baseball season.
Hey, my son Damon is cooking.
So
right around like Tupac.
I got one behind, and now I'm fucked. I'm seeing all these memes and stuff that I can't keep up with. Damn it.
I haven't started Rings of Power yet either, but I just downloaded all the episodes that are out right now of Andor for my iPad. About to hop on this road trip in a little bit and then just fucking consume all of Andor and watch last night's Abbott Elementary that I missed. And
is that back out?
She-Hulk. Yeah. Season premiere was last night. So
all right.
Back out here.
Caitlin and I are going to watch Abbott Elementary for sure. We steamrolled through that first.
Oh, me too. I got to get back on that. That just started. I'm very happy it's back. And I'm watching Miss Marvel too, still.
You're still cranking through Miss Marvel?
Yeah, I love Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel was a big fire. I love it.
Yeah, She-Hulk is basically just brain dead TV for me at this point. Oh, you keep saying Miss Marvel. You mean She-Hulk?
Yes, I mean She-Hulk. I don't know why I keep doing that. Yes, I'm cranking through She-Hulk.
Because you hate women.
She-Hulk is a big fire,
bro. I'm having a great ass time.
It's fine. I keep saying it is fine. It is good, like whatever television, like it's decent television. I don't really care that much, to be completely honest.
I am
not.
I haven't missed an episode of Marvel TV or one Marvel movie. I'm just invested at this point. The first Marvel thing I'm going to miss, I already know what it is. It's going to be the Eternals 2. I'm not watching that. So everything else, just give it to me. Just give me.
In 2028.
2 episodes into What If. Like, that was the limit. Like, MCU,
that was your limit. You're like, oh, you know what?
Oh, the shit is animated now. Never mind. Like, never mind.
No, you know what mine was? Fucking Moon Knight. After 2 episodes,
dude,
not explain.
I finished Moon Knight, which is crazy because I hated Moon Knight from the beginning. I was like, this shit is some trash, and I still finished that, which is insane. That is the worst. That shit stinks.
You powered through. Shill.
I can't believe I powered through Moon Knight. I was bored to tears, bro.
Garbage, man.
Oh, so boring. God damn.
From the jump, I was like, I hate whatever Oscar Isaac is doing right now. Like, no, thank you. I hate his voice.
I'll watch What If 20 more times before I would ever revisit Moon Knight once. Like,
I'm not revisiting Moon Knight, but yeah, I got 2 episodes into What If, and I was like, it's animated, it's hypothetical. Like, I'm okay. Like,
no thanks.
This is the limit of my MCU attention span.
I was like, what episode do I need to watch for the movie? And the internet told me, and I did that, and that was it. I'm right there with you, Dex. Caitlin and I have started on your recommendation, though. You say you don't watch TV, but on your recommendation, we started The Patient with Steve Carell.
Yeah. I downloaded the episodes of that too because I'm behind. But
interesting. It's 30-minute episodes, which is actually really good. I kind of appreciate. We don't have to do the hour-and-a-half episode of TV anymore. We don't have to do it. We've moved past the need. No, we don't.
That's why you haven't watched the newest Game of Thrones episode. That's why you're behind.
Yeah,
You see
the goddamn movie. I'm trying to watch Patrick Mahomes.
I'm trying to watch Patrick Mahomes.
And the dragons and stuff like that. I need to do one or the other. Cannot do both. So I have to take breaks. So 30 minutes of TV, whatever. That's halftime. I don't care.
Yeah, the third quarter of football game sucks anyway. Like, you know, we don't need those.
Yeah. So I started The Patient. It's very contained show. It's on Hulu. FX on Hulu continues to pop out bangers though. It's pretty good. Also, Welcome to Wrexham. I'm about 5 episodes deep on that. Really just fun sort of I was splendid. Like I'm actually play soccer. Really, I don't know, fun and kind documentary. Delightful. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Delightful documentary. I also started like watching more movies that I hadn't really seen over the past few years. I watched Working Girl, which was a 1980s rom-com.
Great movie.
Yeah, some stuff like that I had never really seen. I showed Caitlin a movie the other day that she hadn't seen. Sorry, I'm trying to find what I watched. Oh, this is the one that I did watch that y'all need to watch. It's called In and of Itself. It's on Hulu. It's by Derek Delgadio. He's a magician of sorts, and it's a really super interesting meta commentary about what it means, like who your personality is and what it means to sort of understand that and where you what the bits of your personality mean and where they all come from. And he does this trick at the end of the movie that I haven't ever seen anything like it. It's the most brilliant thing I think I've ever seen for that medium in a long time. God. So it has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Derek Delgadio's In and of Itself is a just incredible watch on Hulu. Definitely, you just hang with it. That's all I gotta say. If you'll be invested pretty soon, but I just gotta say, just hang with it. But yeah, other than that, let's see.
Also on Hulu. I started. They put out a new show. I say I don't watch TV, but I sat and watched 3 episodes of a 30-minute show. They started a show called Reboot. It's about them rebooting like an old sitcom or whatever. It's like a
Hulu thing,
little meta like commentary on reboots and shit. So like Keegan Michael Key is in it. Rachel Bloom is in it, who I love. I don't know if y'all know much about Rachel Bloom, but I think she's fucking hilarious. But yeah, it's like Rachel Bloom's character is trying to reboot this old sitcom from the 90s, like for Hulu. And so she brings back all the old actors to like replay their original roles and stuff. And like, there's a bunch of drama about, making a new show in 2022 and rebooting it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's hilarious. Like there's
when I saw
was like literally howling like in my own apartment by myself, just like laughing my ass off.
When I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh no, but it's
good.
From what I've heard, it's actually really like a good take on that.
Yeah, like there's only 3 episodes out right now. It just came out on Tuesday, I think. But yeah, the first 3 episodes were all good.
Awesome. The movie that I showed Caitlin that she had never watched before, that is kind of a comfort movie of mine. It's called Dan in Real Life with Steve Carell.
Oh, I've seen that.
It's really just a straightforward sort of rom-com, but it's elevated by Steve Carell. Also has our favorite son, Dane Cook. We talk about more on this show than anything else. Maybe not our favorite son because he was out here being real weird, but like
We have mentioned Dane Cook more times on this show than any other podcast in history.
But what's up next for y'all? Obviously, Andor is the big one. It's getting incredible reviews. Actually, it's probably like people are calling it the best Star Wars property since Star Wars.
Yeah, how do they know that already? They've only been like 3 episodes, but people have been very high on it.
People got sent like the 4 or 5 episodes. Critics have already seen most of
The Mandalorian was pretty up there for me. So, and I enjoyed Obi-Wan. I didn't watch Boba Fett. I watched like a couple episodes of Boba Fett, and I
watched a few episodes of Boba Fett, and much like other stuff, I was like, this shit is boring.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good on him. I don't really need to see the Boba Fett story. I'm good. I'm
Never
much less invested. After The Rise of Skywalker, I treat the Star Wars universe very different than I treat the Marvel universe. They have to prove to me that I should watch. Marvel, I'm just going to click play on that shit. Like, I'm just going to click play. We'll figure out if I like it or not. But Star Wars, they're going to have to prove to me that I should show up. And then I'll show up because Episode 9 was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life.
How will the low budget Star Wars ever exist without Teach's money?
Hey, they gonna have to figure it out, dog.
They have to earn me.
Shit. I don't know if you've heard of this property called Star Wars.
Now, I wasn't gonna watch Peacemaker because it's DC, and I was like, I'm probably not gonna watch Black Adam. Peacemaker was great. I said, oh shit, I gotta pull up to this, but they had to prove it to me first. So Black Adam, same thing.
Trailers I see for Black, and we're running long, but the more trailers I see for Black Adam, the more I think that movie is going to be absolutely god awful.
It looks bad. Does not look good.
They ran one for it on Amazon tonight, and I was like, this may be a disaster.
Probably.
And it's like, it's not like Don't Worry Darling, where it went on a film festival and it already has like reviews and stuff. This is going to be day and date release reviews.
And that embargo people are ready to shit on DC. Just the knives are out already. So good luck, Dwayne.
Your knives out. Your onions.
Yeah, also looking forward to that. Let's that's
very much
apparently very good.
Sign me up, Ryan Johnson Hive. I'm right here.
All right, so that's been what we're watching. Obviously, really, it's just football. I've watched
a lot of football around here.
So much football. But yeah, so thank y'all so much for watching. Go see The Woman King in theaters. I guarantee it's worth the price of admission. And you'll have a good time. I'll give you that much. Don't worry, darling. Our next review, long awaited.
It's happening.
Are we doing this?
We have to. How can we
not?
I mean, we have
to talk about this movie for fucking 3 years.
Oh, I was hoping I could avoid watching it. All right,
no, sir. You cannot avoid watching it.
All right, well,
we're going to slander Harry Styles. Here's Florence Pugh, and we'll talk about the rest of the movie, which, I won't spoil for y'all now. But
as for me and my house, we will serve Florence Pugh. So that movie is going to be our next review. Obviously, it was always going to be. So other than that, we will release our schedule whenever we figure it out. So thank you so much for liking, downloading, subscribing. Go follow us at One Take Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Go follow at Apollo HOU on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram as well too. You can find reviews written at apollohou.com. You can buy some merch at apollohou.com/store. Dex, what else are you writing, doing?
I'm gonna write a Don't Worry Darling review at some point. Don't know when that'll be because I gotta go to Kansas this weekend. Shout out to my little brother. We're going up there for family weekend at his college. But
nice.
So hopefully I can
leaving
get that
at
done.
midnight. By the way, is insane.
Hey man, I'm not driving.
Hey,
so
that's when the best traffic
problem.
is. Yeah, that's smart.
But yeah, so Don't Worry Darling review is gonna be on Apollo at some point. I have no idea what I'm writing next for Screen Rant when, but I'll tweet it out. You'll see it. And yeah, just a hashtag support Florence Pugh. Go see Don't Worry Darling in theaters. It's not as bad as they told you it was.
Tej, what are the latest episodes of Slander You and Underhooks?
Underhooks will be back this week. And Slander You, we're around every week. We usually get out around Monday or Tuesday. We've been watching a shitload of football, obviously, for Slander You college football. and it's been fun, and it's been interrupting my movie time, but it's for good reason because college football is my Lord and Master. So.
Your first love, college football and disappointment.
Absolutely. Ugh, I love it.
All right. So thank you all so much. Go rate, download, subscribe, leave us a review. We would really appreciate it. One more time, Dex. What are we doing?
#SportFormers Pew.
All right. We're out.